Jumedie, Numekua Esoyasnene, Bembeni Travel and Consult, Freop Automation Limited, Hemco Enterprise, Lightest Multimedia, Precy Logistics, Kenley Company, Reps Household, E-Fashion and Boutique, Decovast Enterprise, and Abab Partners.
Hello, lovely people. You are all welcome back to this channel, PCTV. And this is Health Talk on the show, and I am Abigail Kwe, your host for tonight. So today we're going to have a wonderful discussion, but it's going to focus on kids. We'll be talking about language development in the kids. And before we go into the discussion for tonight, I would first like to introduce some of our activities on this channel. So PCTV is a blessed channel which was birthed out of the Promised Land Faith Ministries. And this ministry is blessed to have the general overseer and the founder to be no other than our mother, Apostle Mrs. Bernice Ajiman Prempe. Mommy, we are so grateful for allowing us have this channel, which has been helpful in our growth and our walk with God. And also to our father and the husband of Apostle Mrs. is Mr. Benjamin Ajiman Prepe. Thank you so much, Daddy, for your great support towards the ministry and towards all the children of Apostle Mrs. Bernice Ajiman Prepe. So on this channel, we are honored to have a lineup of activities, and starting on Mondays is our online Bible studies at 7 p.m. Then from Monday through to Friday is exhortation hour. From Mondays through to Friday is visitation hour with our mother, Apostle Mrs. Bernice Ajiman Prempe. Then Wednesdays in the evening at 7 p.m. is exhortation hour with our sister Irama. And then on Thursdays at 3 p.m. is inspirational hour hosted by Pastor Jessica. And on Sundays in the evening at 4:30, as we're having now, is the Health Talk show. And so that is it for our activities on the PCTV. And the ministry, Promised Land Faith Ministries, also meets in person. And we are blessed to have 3 temples. That is a Faith Temple, which is at Tema Community 1, behind the Goyle Filling Station. Then we also have the Dominion Temple, that is at Dojum of the Shire Hills, Akosombo Road. And then our 3rd temple is at Ashama Atadika, which is the Victory Temple. And so at all these temples, we have in-person services. And on Wednesdays is Faith Hour at 10 a.m. at the Faith Temple at Tema Community 1. And then on every Friday, we have our manifestation half night at 9 p.m. And then the last Friday of the month, starting from Friday through to Sunday, we have our retreat at the Promise City. That is at Dojum, the Dominion Temple. So you are welcome to join us there from Friday through to Sunday. And on Fridays is our all-night service. Okay, so now to our discussion for tonight. As I mentioned earlier, it's a discussion about language development in our kids. And so what I want you to do for me right now is to kindly go to the share button and share this link with others to be part of the program. And you can also send in your comments and your questions in the comment section, and then our guest will be ready to address that for you. Okay, so I'll introduce our guest for tonight. She is a speech therapist, and she'll tell us more about that, so that those of us who are not familiar with that profession will get to know who she is and what she does. And so without wasting much time, welcome Mrs. Victoria Tutu to the show. So can you tell us who is a speech therapist? What do you do?
All right, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Speech and language therapist.
Okay.
A speech and language therapist is an individual. We are allied health professionals, and we deal in communication.
Okay.
So issues of voice issues, issues of language development, acquired language disorders, Fluency, I mean stuttering or stammering.
Okay.
Okay. Fluency. Then we also deal in feeding and swallowing disorders as well.
Oh.
Yes, and we deal in speech difficulties or speech disorders.
Okay.
So that's what speech and language therapy is about.
Okay, so it's not just about the speech alone. Even swallowing is
Yes,
all part
swallowing
of it.
is
Oh,
part.
okay, okay. So there you have it, viewers. She's a speech and language
Therapist.
Yeah. So if you have any issues with regards to speech, also it's not only in children, but
No.
in adults as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Both
But
children.
tonight our focus is on the little ones. Okay. So what would cause a child to go in for this service, or create a concern in a parent to take a child in for a language therapy?
Okay, so if I understand your question, what brings about?
The need for us to see a speech therapist.
Okay, so in the areas I mentioned, if you have, so in the area of children, if you have a child whose language is delayed, maybe sometimes people will just look around and say that, oh, maybe when I had my first child, at this age, she was saying this, that, and this child is not doing that. Or sometimes you may just want to compare them with the children in the environment, and you see that, no, I think there's something wrong. And so then they may want to come in for service. There are times you'd go to the hospital and then the doctor would raise a concern, or sometimes the school teachers may also raise a concern. It's like everyone in the class is doing this thing, but your child is not. It's a little different. So then these are some of the things that would make people come in for therapy.
To see a speech therapist. And okay, so what would be the signs and symptoms, if I should say, can we call it a condition? Because it's not a disease.
No, it's not.
So can we term it as a condition?
Yes, I think we can.
We can. Okay. So what are some of the signs or things we would see in kids that will show that their language or their speech has been delayed?
So I'd like to say that children develop language in a particular sequence, or there are things that would have to develop. Even as their language is developing, there are things that need to also develop. And so when you look at communication in general, communication development in general, the child needs to develop their attention skills. They need to develop their listening skills. So we have attention and listening. The child should have relatively good attention. Okay. Attention should be good. They should listen to you. One of the ways you can tell that a child is listening to you, if the child gives you eye contact. But then, I mean, in our culture, it's not really appropriate. It's not a big thing in our culture. But if you have a child, or you have a baby and you are playing along and the child is looking at you, you can tell that, okay, you are paying attention to me. Yes. So the eye contact, yes, it needs to be there. Play skills is important. Play, it helps us to develop our language as well. So these are some of the things. Your play skills would have to come in. Then you should be able to follow instructions at a point. Then you should be able to have a few words, as in when you start growing. And so there are things that, based on this understanding, there are certain things that when you see, you should know that, okay, I think I need to see a therapist. So if by 3 months your child is not looking at you, you have a baby, in 3 months the child is not looking at you, the child is not responding to sound. Okay, so because if a baby is in a room and you bang the door, the child should startle. It should be alarmed. Okay, you should see that. And at a point when the child hears maybe mommy's voice, may want to turn.
Able to know that, okay, this is mommy speaking.
Yes, and should be able to turn. So if you are not seeing this at 3 months, it could be a sign. Okay, it could be a sign. So at 3 months, you should see these things. Now, when the child turns from 7 months to around 6-7 months, then they should start babbling. So by babbling, I mean they may start with single just the vowels, so they will coo. So they can coo long strings of vowels. So you hear the baby saying ah, or just say ooh. Yeah, these are things that you should hear.
Does it come naturally, or
It's inborn.
Oh.
It's inborn. So all babies go through this process. Okay, so from 7 months, 7 months to about a year, you are not hearing your child
making
any sounds. And you know, when they start the string starts very early, so it even starts before 6 months. But then from 7 months going, you are not hearing consonants. Okay, so you are not hearing like, for example, ba. They may say things like ba ba ba. Sometimes you hear them, they'll be playing with the sounds, like they're just doing a vocal play. They're doing ba 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 ba, or do do and na 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 na. These are things that you should hear. So if your child is 7 months to 12 to 1 year, you're not hearing this one, you should be concerned. 15 months, at 1 year, the child begins to say a few words.
Okay.
By 1 year. So by their first birthday, they should have said a few words. Okay.
Words like
depending on what they hear. So I think a lot of the time, what they usually say is mama or dada. They are calling mommy or they are calling daddy. But depending on the words that is used in the house. I remember someone said the child started saying jai. Because of course that's what the child was hearing. Every time was jai, jai, jai. Interestingly, some of them may even say, I'll beat you. I mean, that's a long one, but they may say something along that line. Or I have
some goes like, leave me.
You see, I have a niece who once said, shut up. So depending on what they hear, at least you should hear a few words. So if by 15 months you are not hearing, you've not heard your child make any word, you should be really alarmed. If by 15 months the child is not saying anything, then when they grow up to about 2 years, you'd hear the words clearly. You should be able to send them, oh, bring the chair, bring the bag, bring my bag. These simple things, 2 years they should be able to do that. Okay. So if 2 years you send the child and the child is just standing there and doesn't know what to do, you'd have to be pointing. I said, this one, the back, before the child would do it. It means the child doesn't really know the name of the item. So you would have to investigate. Okay. So by 2 years, when they start talking, not everyone will understand them, because they'll be doing, their talk will be more like baby talk. But you, the mom, should be able to understand what the child is referring to. So if by 2 years the child is saying a lot of things, and you the mother or the people around the child, or let's say the caregivers, you don't understand what the child is saying, it's a cause for concern. By 3 years, 4 years, they should be able to be understood by other people. So if the child is 3 years, 4 years, and they meet new people, or they meet a new conversation partner, and their conversation partner does not understand what they are saying, we need to investigate. These are some of the signs you need to look out for. Yes.
Okay. So having said this, are there things that mothers should probably be doing to sort of test their children, to see at those various stages, to see if they are okay, their speech, let me say, their cognitive areas are okay and they are responding well? Are there certain things that mothers should do?
There are lots of things you can do to help your child's language. And like I always tell my clients, nobody teaches a child how to talk. They pick it from the environment. And so all you have to do as a parent or as a caregiver is to create a language-rich environment for the child. If the child is in an environment where everybody is busy and nobody's talking to the child, it'll be very difficult for the child to easily pick up the language. And so if you don't want to have concerns, one of the things that I would advise is that you have to let there be language around the house. Let the children play.
You should allow them to play.
Let them play, because they learn through play. And it's best when they are, if they have younger siblings, just put them down, let them play. You don't need to turn on the TV for them, because the screen time, according to research and in my own clinical practice, I've seen that a lot of the children who were exposed to a lot of screens before the age of 3, they have delayed language. Their language delays. Yes, I mean, they'll watch the TV and you think, oh, the TV is talking to them. But you see, communication is a two-way conversation. So if I'm watching Peppa Pig, for example, I like cartoons though.
No problem.
If I'm watching Peppa Pig, I'm watching SpongeBob, and I'm seeing all these things, and I'm excited. They are teaching me. I don't have the opportunity to talk back to them.
Okay.
So I'm hearing, but I'm not getting the opportunity to give back.
Feedback.
And it is in the practice that you would build your language skills. And so if all I'm getting is just receiving, and I'm not giving back, it would cause a delay in my language. So I would not advise screen time. According to WHO, children under 3 years should not have any screens at all.
Under 3 years, no screen at all.
No screens. So you can research. I think everyone can just Google screen time, and WHO will tell you that under 3 years you don't have to give them any screens, because it's causing delays, and there's been a lot of research into that area,
and it has proven that
there's a lot of research in that area. So please, no screen time. Talk to the children. You wait. You just wait. When they are 3 years,
they can give it to them.
Yes, but sometimes I understand the parents, because it's like,
you have a lot of workload.
Yes, I understand the parents. So get them toys.
Okay.
Get them toys. Just put the toys down on the floor and let them sit down and play. They should just play.
But see, the issue there too is sometimes the children want to engage with you. They want to play with you, especially when there are no kids around and they are the only babies you have.
Yeah.
They want to come to you, mommy, let's play, or daddy, let's play. They are kicking the ball towards you. You must also kick it back to them. But then you have to probably be cooking or still home at work.
Yeah. So there are children. You need to make time for them. If you can even get 30 minutes every day,
okay,
you and the child. Or if it's that difficult for you, you may have your child may have cousins. You may have brothers or sisters who have kids. You can organize play dates for your child.
Okay.
Where other kids will come in. If you are comfortable with the children in your neighborhood, you can come in and then they play together. They will learn. They'll learn from each other. Because they may all not be the same. Someone may be talking, so the younger one will learn from the older one.
Yeah.
So these are things that I would encourage
to help the kids.
To help them.
Okay. Back to the screen time. I think I will preview to some of these programs on TV. There are even on tapes that we can buy for the kids, and it's sort of like teaching them in a way. It sometimes asks them, what is this? After teaching them, okay, this is green, this is that. It asks them, what is this? And it's like waiting for a feedback back from the kids. And then they go like, oh, this is A, this is C. Isn't that helpful?
So I would say that you are the best teacher. The screen can't teach your child as best as you can. And a lot of the times, for children I've seen who are really into screens, sometimes they come in, those ones are usually more academic. So they are teaching colors, they are teaching shapes, ABC,
fruits, and
so
all that.
So it would interest you to know that I've seen so many cases where the parents come in with the children and the kids are able to recite A, B, C, D. They know their 1, 2, 3. They know their colors perfect. But then they can't even tell you, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry.
Oh.
That's how serious it is.
So where's the problem?
We are not, I think that there's not much engagement when it comes to the children. Because you need to engage them. When you are playing and you've bought your child a toy car, and you are playing, the child is playing, and you make time and you're playing with the child, or they are even older kids, and they are pushing the car back and forth. You definitely, the word car will come in.
Yeah.
And the child will hear the word car. And so if I'm able to see that, okay, the toy car represents the one daddy has been driving me to school, then okay, I can use the word car to represent the object. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And so it's like a toy cup represents the big cup we use in the house.
Yeah.
And so if the cup can represent the actual cup, a toy cup can represent the actual cup, then I could use the word cup to represent the object. You understand?
Yeah.
And so there are children who would come in. It's very interesting. I meet children who come in. Oh, what is this? It's cup. What is this? Water. What is this? But they can't tell you water to even request for water. They can't say, "Mommy, maybe hungry." Okay, they can't say that. And interesting, there are some who would even sing the rhymes for you. There are some who would sing. So aside that, we have some with special conditions. But then sometimes you meet a child who would sing. So one mom told me that when her daughter is hungry, she would sing, "I like to eat."
They know that the baby is hungry.
But I mean, you could just say it.
Yeah.
You can just say it. And so sometimes when the screen is a lot, they end up thinking that words is for entertainment. And so they will talk when they are playing, but they will not talk to communicate
with you.
Yes. And so yes, even though there are things out there that is teaching the child a lot of things, it's still not helping them. So you are the best teacher. At least let them grow to a point. Let them cross 3 years. Then you can give them a little bit of screen time.
A little bit of screen time.
Yes, you can give them a little bit of that. I know it's difficult, but yes, because if your child has language delays or your child is having language issues, and it doesn't just affect language, it affects a lot of areas. Aside the language, it affects a lot of areas. But I'm not going to talk about them because it's not my field.
It's not your field, okay. But you can mention those areas that
yes, it affects a lot of areas. So I've even met nutritionists and dietitians will tell you that a lot of screen times makes the children overfeed sometimes, because when they are watching the screens, their attention is on what they are. There are some kids who would be watching the screens and will be eating, so they can't tell when they are full, and it's causing and it causes obesity. Now, when the child is playing with their hands, they are exploring. Now we are doing a lot of STEM. We use our hands. They are exploring with their hands. They are doing things, trying to put things together, opening the bottles, scatter things and all that. But in this case, when all they are doing is just watching TV, it doesn't build their motor skills, their fine motor skills. And so I've met a child whose language was delayed, and I tried to play with him. When I put the toy in the hand, it falls down. Doesn't have good grip. And the parents said, yes, he's been on screen since he was born. He's been on the screen throughout. And so he doesn't know how to handle these things. And then it may be an extreme case, but there's a case I saw personally. Anything you put in the child can't hold it. It just falls. I think he was about 3 years when I saw him. And everything just falls. And so it affects them. The doctors will tell you that it would affect their eyes as well. Yeah. So you have kids who would have to be doing wearing glasses at a very young age, and the most dangerous ones is the tablets and things. It affects their attention. You would think they are learning, but would eventually affect them in school. It would affect their attention, and so if you expose them to a lot of screen time, when they come out from the screen and they have to do something, you realize that their attention they are not very focused in class.
Okay.
Doesn't make them too focused in class as well. So their attention skills, or when they are teaching, maybe they may want to do something else. They can't sit for too long and all that. So yes, it affects a lot of areas. Aspects. Yeah, it affects a lot of areas.
So what are some of these activities or games that parents can engage with their kids to help them develop their speech or their communication?
Yeah. When it comes to games and toys, personally, I don't discriminate anything at all. Because once you are playing, the main motive is to create an environment where you can use a lot of language.
Okay.
Okay, so anything, it can be anything. You may not even have anything. You could just have a bottle and just be pouring. If it's rice, you can just get some rice, you pour it in the bottle, you're just shaking it. You shake it small, the child will shake it small. Anything at all. Anything at all. If the child likes to play with water, you could put a little soap inside. You could just make bubbles, just be dropping it up and down. Anything, just be creative. Anything at all you have. So I'm not going to say go and buy this toy or buy that toy. You can just be creative in your own house. Yeah. Yes, you could just be creative. There was one picture I saw where I think the child was disturbing the mom, and she just brought out all her storage containers, the small ones she put stews inside. Just removed the lids and scattered everything with the lid, and was like, okay, so start covering them. So I had to start looking for the cover and it's a very and it makes them smarter. Okay, because then they have to think.
The child will know how to cover containers properly.
Of course, and the child is using the brain. Developing their cognitive skills as well. Yeah. So anything at all, it can be anything. Just anything at all you have, they can play with it. Sure. You don't need anything special. Even you, the mother, you can just be there, be singing and dancing. you can be your own nursery rhymes YouTube channel. You can be the YouTube channel in the house and just be singing and dancing with the child. They'll sing and dance along with you. And they'll learn from you. Yeah. They'll pick a few words.
And I think with that too, you are careful of what gets to the children. You know what's getting to them. You know what you are communicating to them. You have control over that.
Exactly.
Before they even move out to communicate with you. Because sometimes some parents complain that, hey, no, so when they learn the things from you, it's best. You have control over it before they step out to the environment. So we've been talking about language. Right now we are chatting. we are communicating in English.
Yeah.
What about our local dialect?
Okay. So, I think I am understanding you when you have a lot of languages in the house.
Okay, and in this time, because the kids are going to school, the main language used in school is the English. And so it's like we are forced to communicate with the kids in English, even at home. And probably the dad is an Ewe, the mom is a Ga. So how do you communicate with the child? Obviously, with the child spends probably more time with the mom, so it looks like the children usually pick their mother's tongue before. But here is the case where probably that I have mentioned earlier, the dad is an Ewe, doesn't understand the Ga, and the mom is a Ga, doesn't understand the Ewe. So the best way they communicate is English. The child too has to communicate in English. Does it really help? Well, we think it will help with in the academics as well. But coming to our local dialects, how does it play?
I'd like to ask you, how many languages do you speak? If you could just count.
Okay, I speak Ga, I speak Chi, I speak English, and French is just pleasantries.
How did you learn them? Did you learn them growing up, or you had to? What language did you speak growing up?
Ga first.
Okay.
And I think I picked the Chi from the community, because you had Chi. Tema had Chi people around. So, but the Ga from home.
Yeah. So your parents are speaking Ga with you?
Okay, so my parents, both parents are Ga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they spoke Ga with you growing up.
Growing up, they spoke Ga with me. But I realized my dad likes speaking English, more English with me. Yeah, but I grew up in a Ghana home. Yeah.
So you picked Ghana?
Yeah. French was from school.
Okay. And then you went to school, you did so well in school.
Oh, yes.
And you speak very good English.
I speak very good English.
Okay, so I don't see why parents... And I mean, for a lot of the parents in the house, I want everyone to think about it. How many languages do you speak? I'm speaking for all the parents that are watching us right now. I want you to ask yourself, how many languages do you speak? At what stage did you learn the language? Did it impact... did it have any negative impact in your academics? Did it affect your ability to speak English today? I just want all parents to... And when they ask themselves, I think they'll find the answer. Okay. But in summary, I would say that... I don't know where the concept is coming from, that if I don't speak English with my child in the house, they were struggling in school.
Probably that's a no.
It was not so. I mean, it's not so. It wasn't so when we were growing up, and it's not so even now. And so, if in your house there are lots of languages, and you have a child, the child's brain has been designed to learn as many languages as it is exposed to.
Oh.
Even if it's 6 languages, the child may not speak all. The child will speak the ones that are more that he hears the most.
Okay.
But will understand the rest, even though they will not speak it.
They may understand.
And so the child's brain, when it comes, it's like a white sheet of paper. What you give it is what it will take. And so kids are able to easily pick languages up to the age of 6 years.
Oh.
It's very easy. Just introduce it, they'll get it. Just introduce it, they'll get it. And so if your language is Ga, and mommy speaks Ga, daddy speaks Ewe, mommy speak your Ga to the child, daddy would speak his Ewe to the child. The child goes to school, would definitely pick up the English. It would not affect their academics, just like the way it did not affect your academics. It will not affect their own. So speak your Ga to the child, speak the Ewe to the child, and you'll be amazed. The child will even pick tree from the environment. And the child will grow. And I always say that one of the best things you can give to your child, apart from giving them Christ, one of the very good things you can give to your child is language, because they can go anywhere with it. And I know parents are saying that na tree they call him. Why are you taking treats? We're just here in Ghana. But I will tell you that even outside, I know people who say they had jobs because they could speak the local language. One time I saw an ad in the newspaper, British embassy. One of the requirements was that you should be able to speak one local language. I was surprised. I said, British embassy too. What do you need?
What do you need?
You just be amazed where the language will take your child to. And so let's just speak. And if a child, again, according to research, if a child has a strong skills in their mother tongue, they will perform better. Children who pick up their mother tongue and they can easily pick up any other language to begin with, and then they perform cognitively. Okay, so let me say they perform better in school than those who just know one. So
language.
just be open. Sure. Just have an open mind. Just speak your language. Your child will be fine.
Oh. Okay, just speak your language and the child will be fine. I believe this topic is really blessing us, and so if you have any comments, kindly go to the comment section and then put that in there for us. If you have any questions too, please share it in the comment section, and our guest, our speech therapist for today, would address that for you. I would like us to take a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, you are welcome back to Health Talk on PCTV, and today's discussion has been on language development in children, and we are honored to have Mrs. Victoria Tutu with us in the studio today, and she's been educating us about language development in children. She shared a lot with us today, and if you've not shared the link, please kindly click on the share button and share the link with others so that they can also be blessed by the program. Okay, so Mrs. Victoria Tutu, we are almost through with our discussion for today, and I want you to touch on this, that how can parents and caregivers support the speech and language disorders at home? What kind of support can they give to the kids if these have been identified in our kids?
If you notice that your child has probably delayed, or you have concerns, the first step would be to seek help.
Okay.
So you need to see a speech and language therapist. Usually you may have to come in with a referral.
Oh.
Yes. So it could be from the teacher. Okay. It could be from the child's teacher, or it could be from the pediatrician, or any other health worker. Okay, so you come in with a referral. Sometimes we have walk-ins. We won't turn you away.
I was going to ask if you can
No,
just walk in.
We won't turn you away. So
Okay.
yes, you can walk in as well. And so when you come in, we are going to do an assessment. We listen to your concerns, what your challenge is. We are going to do an assessment. By assessment, I mean we'll play with the child. Okay, so our therapy is play based. So when you come in, we are playing, but then in the play, I'm looking out for the areas that the child has developed in. Is the child having difficulties with their attention? Are they having difficulties with their listening skills? Or is the child playing appropriately? Is the child able to follow instructions? Does the child know the names of items in his environment? Is the child able to have a little conversation with you? These are things we'll look at whilst we are playing.
Okay.
So by the time the play is over, we'll know which area we need to tackle. And then when you come in, we'll give you homework. We'll tell you things that you need to do, of course. Okay. We'll give you homework. So we may tell you that, okay, I think that, one of the most common things I tell them that just take the screens away. I've had parents who came in, so many parents who would come in, and I'll say, you know what, I think you should just reduce the screens. They reduce the screen and they come and the child is fine. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Just bring the screens down, and you realize that your child would pick up. That is, if the screen is the main thing that is causing the problem. So if you are watching me and you are concerned about your child's speech and your child has been glued to the screens, sometimes all you need to do is just bring the screens down. The other things we'll let you do. The other things we may tell you to do, and sometimes you just need to consciously teach the child, because if the child has grown to a level, because like I said, by 15 months they are saying a few words. Your child is like 3 years and your child doesn't even know anything, doesn't know that, oh, this is called TV, this thing is called, oh, of course, TV and phones, they definitely know.
That's where the screen time is coming from.
Of course,
so
they know that one. But your child doesn't know this is a car. The child doesn't know that this is door, this thing means open. When I'm moving up and down, it means I'm jumping. Then it means that you have to consciously teach the child. Yes. So when you come in, based on our assessment, when we see where the difficulty is, we tackle it from there, and then we tell you what to do in the house. But I think I've given a lot of things in the speech as to some of the things that you can do to help the child.
Yeah. Okay. So as you were talking, something just crossed my mind. At maternity, do you sometimes come in after the mothers have had their babies? After that period, what is it when they go in for weighing and those stuff? Do you sometimes come in to educate them about these things and how to properly pick signs if their children are responding to them or communicating with them?
Well, it's sad because unfortunately there's nothing like that. I'm not aware of anything like that that's going on. I like to say that speech therapy is relatively new. We've been around for a while, but you'd be amazed, a lot of health professionals may not even know about speech and language therapy. And so, no, currently there's nothing going on. And so we would have to reach out to these places, and it's one of the things that I'd want to do.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
especially here in Tema. There's a lot of work that has to be done because a lot of parents come in late, and I'd want to advise parents that don't wait. Don't wait.
At least now we have the knowledge of it through this program. We have the
Yes.
knowledge of it. So if you are seeing those signs now, don't sit and wait.
Don't wait, because there's a time frame. The child's language, the child's brain develops between 0 to 3 years. By the time they reach 6 years, their brain is almost fully matured. If it's not matured, it's like almost fully matured. And so when you report late and we start therapy, it's difficult. It gets more difficult. But when you pick up these signs early, sometimes they'll tell you that, oh, in this house, no one spoke early. Don't worry. Why are you worrying yourself? Sometimes the people who are even supposed to push you, they'll tell you that sometimes I have parents come in and they'll go like, oh, the teachers are saying, so, why are you worrying yourself and you're bringing this child in? And they are just chopping your money and all that. But there are people who would wait. Sometimes they come in as late as 5 years, 6 years, and the child hasn't said a word.
Oh, my.
And I'm like,
way from 1 to 5 years, not a word.
Yes, I've even met 6 years, and the child has not said a word, and this child was in school.
So how did the child then progress along?
So a lot of times, if you have a school that some of the schools are really supportive, some of them they don't understand, so they can't do anything when you bring your child, and so sometimes the children will go. There are kids that they keep sacking them from school. Because we don't know how to handle your child, or they will keep repeating them. So your child will be in one class for a very long time. Or we are waiting for your child to talk before we move them to the next class. We are waiting for your child, and your child will be there. And this 6-year-old boy I met was still in nursery, I think, and was 6 years. And at a point, the child will just give up and will not want to go to school again because everyone is moving ahead.
Moving ahead, and he's with babies. Meanwhile, he's way above that class.
So I want to tell parents, don't wait. Once you are concerned, you come in and let's tell you that your child is fine. It's better than waiting
wait till the child is all matured and developed, and then making any efforts is difficult.
It's more difficult.
My other question had to do with the schools, which you've touched on. So with the schools, let me just ask, but I know I don't know if there's any program like that for the schools to also train teachers to be able to pick some of these signs in the kids and tell that, okay, this child is lacking behind in this, lacking behind in that. Do you have any such program going on?
There's a program I'm planning on starting to educate teachers in Tema. Again, my focus is Tema because I'm in Tema. I start from Tema. I'm starting from my Jerusalem. So it's something that I want to start doing. Like I'm working towards it. But there are some schools that have some of the teachers who have knowledge.
Okay.
Yes, because sometimes a few times I see programs going on here and there where they talk about some of these things, and I like to mention that because now autism has become a condition that a lot of people are talking about.
Yes,
so there are a lot of
attention towards that.
Yes, and so it's making people do a lot of education. People are doing lots of education, but it's not. If your child is not talking early, it doesn't mean your child has autism. Let me just say that it doesn't mean that. Yes, but because I'm just saying that because now there's a lot of campaign towards that, it's making the schools realize that we need to take a second look at it. But some of them some of the schools do not have an idea at all.
It's all about.
Yes, so it's a campaign that I'm hoping to start very soon.
Sure, and we are in full support of that. Wow, it's been a great time on the show talking about this, and like you said, most people are not aware of this profession. But until I got to know, I never knew about this, and it's an interesting field that every parent should be concerned about, especially with regards to their child's development. And sometimes I also say that what you didn't get that could have helped you, you shouldn't deny your children or the little ones after us have access to those things. So if you're a teacher on the call, you can talk to your school administration about probably having a speech therapist on board. She's available to educate the teachers, especially those in the nurseries, the crèche,
Yes.
to help them right from infancy. We shouldn't wait till they get to the 5 years, because by then their minds are
Brain is
already matured, and there's little that can, though we can do some, there's little that can be done.
It's more difficult.
It's more difficult. Okay, let me put it that way. More difficult to help them address this condition. So if you're a teacher on the call, you may probably not a teacher, or you might have friends who are teachers or school administrators, and even the health profession as well. Sometimes it looks like there's a gap between the allied health and then the health professionals. It's weird. I'm an allied health professional, so I understand you.
You share my pain.
I understand you when you said that, but I think it's about time that we bridge the gap. Health or allied health, we need to bridge the gap. And if we want the best of healthcare for our people, our relatives, and our children, we should work together to make life better. You know, as our slogan here is your wealth is your health, and the speech aspect is part of our health. And so we must do everything possible to ensure that we are communicating effectively with our kids, and they're also communicating back to us, and we'll have a conducive home, a conducive community, and on and on and on we go. So thank you so much, Mrs. Victoria Tutu, for coming on the show this evening to have this discussion with us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we let you go, are there any last words you have for us? Any advice for parents or teachers, anyone?
What I would say is that, I mean, as you've heard, it's just have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes parents may argue that, oh, the child will grow out of it, That's not really important, but just receive it. Receive these words with an open mind and take action if you have
As soon
to.
as possible.
Yes, take action if you have to.
Okay. All right. Thank you once again. God richly bless you
God bless
for
you too.
joining us on the show. I believe our mom is very glad that you honored this invitation, and so God bless you. And God bless you all, viewers, our cherished viewers, for joining us, always joining us on this channel and on this Health Talk show to be a blessing. And before we go, we finally log off, I would like to appreciate our sponsors who have also contributed to making PCTV a reality and all the activities we have on this channel very possible. So we've had ABBA partners who are also the proud sponsors of Your Salvation Is Now Crusade, and it's open to all, and so you can be part of it by calling the numbers that's showing on your screen right now, and then become a partner today as we send out the word of God to all people across the globe. We also have Ben Benny Travel Consults, and they deal with passport issues. So if you need to get a passport, if you don't have a passport and need one, you can call them on their numbers appearing on your screen. You can also walk into their office, and they are located at Foriko Mall at Osu, and they are there to assist you with your documentation, your travel documentations, and then your passport as well. We have Lightest Media, and they handle multimedia things including graphic designing, photography, videography, and so if you want to have such at your wedding events, any party event, or any event at all, you can call on them, and then they will be there to assist you on that. Their numbers are also displayed on the screen, so you can contact them. Hemco Enterprise deals in Asapreku products, especially she has Awake drinking water, and she is located at Tema Community 2 and also at Dowenya. You can call Ohima on the numbers on your screen, and she will be available to assist you and get you what you need at your doorstep. We also have Frop Automation sponsoring us, and they deal with machinery in terms of roofing, block making, machines, constructions, batch making plants, installation and services. And they are located at Ajin Kotoku, Amasaman Ajin Kotoku. You can call them on the numbers appearing on your screens. Prissy Logistics, and she deals in services regarding export and importation, transit, freight management, and door-to-door services. Her numbers are also displayed on the screen. You can call her, or you can get to her at Captain House at Tema Community 5, Room 3, behind the catering services. Kenley Company deals in furniture for the home, for the office, gadgets as well. And they are into buying and selling. So if you want to sell, you can get to them. If you want to buy too, you get to them, and you can call them on the numbers on the screen. She's opposite the Tema Stadium, and so you can get to them, and then they will sort you out. Decovas Enterprise is into decor for events, and we are blessed to have her decorate our studio for all our activities. And you can call her on the numbers on your screen. She is also located at Tema Community 2, opposite the post office. Last but not the least, we have Reps Household Limited. They deal in gadgets. You can get any of the gadgets that they have, whether you have cash or you want it on credit. You can call them on the numbers on the screen, and they will be there to talk the payment terms with you, and then you can have the gadget of your choice. Then finally, E-Fashion Boutique. They deal in unisex clothing for both adults and kids, and you can call them on the numbers on the screen. They are at Community 1, adjacent the police station, and they'll be there to sort you out regarding your attires. And so, once again, we've come to the end of Health Talk on PCTV. And we are grateful that you've been able to join us tonight for this discussion. I believe it's been a blessing to you, and you've learned a lot. And let's keep it in mind that don't wait for it to get too late and becomes difficult to help your child. And probably you might have noticed this notice certain signs in a friend's or a colleague's child. You can draw the attention of the parents and then ask them to seek help. I even forgot to ask this. Let me go back to our guest. So, are you available in all healthcare institutions?
No, not everywhere.
So where do we go to if we want?
The major places across the country: Hollywood Teaching Hospital,
okay,
37 Military Hospital. In Cape Coast, there's Cape Coast. I don't know if it's the teaching or the regional hospital, but Cape Coast.
There's a teaching hospital.
Yes. Then the Eastern Regional Hospital, Koforidua. Okay. Then Kumasi. You can find them at Konfanoche.
Okay.
Konfanoche Teaching Hospital. And then in Tamale, we have Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
These are the major places.
Okay,
where
so at least the teaching hospitals you can have.
Some of them.
to a speech therapist there to assist.
Yes, you will.
Okay, and you said you can walk in as well.
Yes, sometimes you need Kolebu. I know you need an appointment. For the other places, I'm not too sure, but you can always go there and find out.
And what about if we want to reach you? How do we get to you?
My lines are active. You can call me.
Okay.
You can call me on 020-755-4772.
Okay. So it's in the chat. You can call Mrs. Victoria Tutu, and if you have any questions for her regarding speech, regarding your kids, you can call. She's available. And we are privileged to have her share her contact with us. So do not fear showing your face. Probably you can just give her a call and then make an appointment with her to meet her with your child to help you. So once again, thank you so much. And Mami Apostle Mrs. Bernice Ajimai Prempe, God bless you so much for giving us this opportunity. So until same time next week, this is Health Talk on PCTV, and I've been your host, Abigail Quaid. See you.
Remember, the greatest wealth is your health. Thank you for watching.